concerned about. It's my team and my clients, and I shoulder the burden of just caring about everyone's success and wanting to
Mm-hmm.
make things better for them, that I then fall very far down that list and
Mm-hmm.
end up putting off things that would move the business forward or make it better for everybody because I can't seem to find the motivation or time to sit in what the feelings I have to process them and move forward.
Yeah. So like, how does it make you feel when you think like, I've got all of these, I'm putting myself on the back burner, pretty much. That's what you're.
I I'm either pedal to the metal or stationary. There is no in between for me. I'm either working 14-hour days frantically, doing a million things at once and probably not doing them well, or I'm so overwhelmed that I just completely shut down and do nothing. So I have no normal, no baseline. I know that both ways of operating are not healthy or helpful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How many of you also have this all or nothing kind of state? Yeah. Hands up or thumbs up. Yes. Yeah. Right. It's either I do it well. This is what I hear a lot from my clients. I have to know that I'm doing it well, or I'm not going to do it at all. Yeah. Okay. So what else we have? Thank you for sharing, Emily. We'll get down to that. So write this all down on the piece of paper. The reason why you want to actually see all your thoughts on the piece of paper is then you can actually do something with them, because otherwise these thoughts are just kind of roaming around in your mind and you can't actually do anything with them. Okay, so this is the power of coaching. Not living my purpose sonnet. Describe, like, what is your passion? Not living my passion. What do you mean by that? Get more specific. um, so Kai, resistance to doing something that puts the spotlight on me. Video, yeah, putting yourself out there, right? I hear that from all my clients, because it's that, correct me if I'm wrong, it's that fear. Yeah, it's the vulnerability, right? It's that fear of what other people will think of you, right? And especially when we have our own business, we are constantly putting ourselves out there. So that fear is going to show up, right? And so this is where overwhelm is just a fear response. Overwhelm is here to just be of a fear mechanism. It is here to help you cope, so that you don't put yourself out there, so you don't end up doing the things that you want to do, because overwhelm keeps you safe. So I'll dive into a little deeper about that after. Um, it used to be a big, I used to be a big achiever and very driven and motivated. I can barely get anything done. I'm now so slow, unfocused, and have so many ideas, and now no capacity. Yes, I think we can all relate, right? Most of us can relate. Yeah, you're not alone. Exactly. Who else identifies as a big achiever? Yeah. Okay. You like, here's the thing. Do you actually know what it is that you want to accomplish? Right? We all have, do you all have a list? Yes. Right? But the only thing that's stopping you is this overwhelm. And so we've got, if the very thing that's stopping you is feeling this overwhelm, then you've got to allow yourself to slow down, to recognize it, and to get to know it. Because right now, the feeling overwhelmed is a discomfort. So your brain's going to want to do all the things to try and avoid it, to try and avoid feeling this discomfort. So you got to allow yourself to start to become familiar with it. Okay, not familiar in the sense that you're going to resist it, but you're going to allow it to be in your life and not make it mean anything, right? Because when you make it mean something, this is where it starts to paralyze you and you can't do the things that you want to do. So yes, accepting. So we'll go through that. I'll go through the steps of how to actually process your overwhelm. Okay. But let's go back to kind of look at what you wrote down about your overwhelm. This is what we call an overwhelm story. Okay. What are you making this story mean about yourself? So if you're not putting yourself out there, or if you're not living your passion, or there's too much to get done, what are you making that mean about yourself? Would anyone like to share on the speaker? Emily says, I'm failing or not capable. That's the number one thing I hear is I'm not capable and I'm a failure. It's not a very good feeling, is it? So this is where you get to choose. Okay, I'm wasting my precious life. Yeah. The time piece, right? We don't get this time back. So there are circumstances in our life. Okay, so the circumstances are people, what they say to us, what they do. We've got the business. We've got politics, time, money. These are the facts of life. Okay, so there are things that happen in life that are facts. So these factual things you can take to court and you can prove them that they are true. So for example, my name is Vanessa. That is a fact. Today where I am, it's cloudy. That is a fact. This mug here that I have is a fact. They are completely neutral until you have a thought about it. So if you look at what you wrote, what would you say are the facts about what you wrote? So it might be, I'm a business owner. I make a certain amount of money. I have a certain amount of clients. Okay, what are the facts that are there? Okay. What do we have? Okay. So say we have, let's just pick one. Okay. So let's just say I have a business, right? or let's just say, okay, we all have a to-do list. So the to-do list is a list with things that you need to do. Okay. And then you have thoughts about this list. Okay. And it's these thoughts, it's only when you apply a thought to it, does it cause you an emotional response. Okay, so there are facts in our life, and until we have a thought about it, does it cause us to feel a certain way? So you cannot feel overwhelmed until you have a thought that creates the overwhelm. Okay, so if I look at my list, I don't have lists anymore, but let's just say I have a list, okay? And I tell myself, oh my gosh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I should have done this, I should have done that. Do you see that? Do you feel that? As soon as I say I should be doing this, I feel a sensation in my body, a vibration. So this is the power of your thoughts. Okay? You've got these things that happen in your life and you have a thought about it that is creating this overwhelm. Okay, so your brain wants to think that, no, it's these people in my life. They're demanding, they're distracting me. Your brain's going to want to say, no, it's because this work just keeps piling on. But all of those thoughts, those sentences are thoughts that the brain is offering to you. So here's a question that you can write down and use moving forward. How does this thought serve me? How does this thought help move me forward? Okay. So pick one of those thoughts that you wrote down and ask yourself, how does this thought serve me? So I'm just going to pick the first one I see here. I used to be a big achiever and very driven and motivated. So Aylin, you had, I used to be a big achiever and very driven and motivated. If you have this thought, how does that actually make you feel? Does it make you feel good about yourself? Does it actually serve you? So can you find one sentence in what you wrote down that is actually creating that overwhelm for you? Yeah, so Aylin says, no, it makes me feel like a failure. So too much to do and don't know where to start. How does that feel, Sonnet? That was your thought. Does that feel overwhelming? Yeah. Okay. So this is our power. This is the power that you have. It's all in the sentence that you choose to think. Because when you think that one thought, it creates this overwhelm, and then the overwhelm drives you to procrastinate, do other things, right? Avoid that feeling to do at all costs, right? It's like, it's not a joyful place to be. So I'm going to go do something else that's going to create more joy, which means the work that you actually want to do isn't actually being done. So there are facts in our lives which are completely neutral until you have a thought about it. And the thought drives an emotion. And the emotion then drives your actions. So I'll just draw this out. So this is the best tool you can ever learn. At least that's my opinion. If you learn this, so there are circumstances, you can solve any problem with this circumstance. And then you have a thought, and this thought creates a feeling, and the feeling drives an action. And then the actions then creates your results. So a lot of the times we're trying to change our actions. We're trying to force ourselves to do the things from a place of overwhelm, right? We have a thought that's like, I have too much to do, but I need to get it done. And you're feeling overwhelmed, but you're trying to force yourself to do the action when that feeling doesn't actually drive that action. So it feels like a lot of resistance. And that's why you might end up feeling very exhausted at the end of the day. Right? Because you're using so much energy to try and force yourself to do something that your brain is just not wanting to do because it's not thinking of thought that is driving the action. So if you want more ease in your life, if you want less struggle in your life, you have to pause to take a look at your thoughts to see what is serving you and what isn't serving you. So if you look at this model here, I call this a mindset model. It is a way to solve any problem. So if you look at your result and you're not seeing the result that you want to create, then what you want to do is either look at your thoughts. So look at what current results you have right now. So not getting shit done. Okay. So not getting shit done. So what are the actions? The actions are procrastination, doing other things, eating, drinking. That's okay, Aylin. I can share the recording of just myself speaking. Sure. We can do that. Okay. So there is action, and then you want to look at the feeling. So right now your feeling is overwhelm that's driving the procrastination, and then you've got this thought. So if you want to change your result, you got to change your thought, right? So what's a result that you want? Let's start there. What do you want to get done? Okay. So anybody want to share? Sonnet, were you speaking? Do you want to share? You can, here, I'll unmute you. Do you want to be unmuted? Okay.
Can you hear me? Sorry, yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so this is just for me to grab. So when you want
Sure.
to change the results, you have to move back to the thought, because the thought has to be changed so that the feeling can get into a better place, if I can call that, so that the action can be redirected so that the result can be where you want it to get to.
Exactly.
Am I correct? Okay,
Exactly.
thanks.
So you can get shit done, but it's going to take a lot of struggle and time and energy. So the easiest way to get shit done is to shift your thinking, is to create a new thought that is going to give you an emotion that is going to drive the actions that you want to take with ease. And then therefore create the result that you want. Okay. Does that, yeah? Anybody else have a question about this? Anybody want to share their model? The best way to do this is to actually show it in an actual, who wants to work through their overwhelm? Who wants to volunteer? Yeah, Sonnet. Okay. Thank you for sharing and volunteering.
Okay, so I work with big companies. I work with international companies. I'm from South Africa. And we basically, what happened today is a whole, just to say in the shortest amount, we had to get in a payment. It totally bombed out and extra stuff needs to be done. And this totally paralyzed me. The overwhelming paralyzed me. I know that I need to do A, B, C, D to get to Z, basically. And I'm honest with you, the feelings that went through me, and the thoughts. So first it was the thoughts. I was upset with the main person. Then I got upset with the customer. So all this basically negativity was overwhelming so much, and the thoughts that came into my mind started to totally give me a result where I didn't know where must I do what. I know I need to do A, B, C, D, but because I felt so overwhelmed, I didn't know. I feel I lost a day. That's how I feel. I feel I totally lost a day. So yeah, this masterclass with you just came in the right time. So now with what I've learned now is I have to think a new thought.
But before we go there, this is where you just got to acknowledge. So what exactly happened? There was a what?
Okay, so the main thing is the customer did not understand. They overpaid us, and they subtracted more. They took more money. They didn't pay us a certain amount that they should have paid us. So the customer didn't understand what I was requesting, and I didn't understand the customer. So there was a miscommunication. And then with everything happening that we now need to do A, B, C, D for the customer to ensure that this money is coming in.
Okay, so
is totally
money
overwhelmed.
didn't come
Yes.
in.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a certain amount of money that was
Yes.
scheduled to come in, but it didn't come in. So you have this thought that now there's extra things that need to be done.
Yes.
And that's what's creating the overwhelm.
Yes.
Okay. So do you see that? So, and then this overwhelm drove you to react and get frustrated and then start feeling self-doubt and ruminate and think about it a lot. So I want you all to kind of look at this model and look at how it applies to apply your own story to this and work it out. And your result is that I lost my day and that you end up having more things to get done.
Yes.
Right? Because you lost your day, you didn't actually do the things that you wanted to get done.
Yes.
You see how your result actually reflects your thought?
Yes.
Okay. So the idea isn't when I show you this model, it isn't just to say, oh, okay, I'm going to create a new thought. I'm going to create a new positive thought, and I'm just going to focus on that new thought. You have to first allow yourself to acknowledge and accept that this is the story that you are telling yourself right now.
Okay.
That is creating this result. And really stepping into evaluation of whether this is actually working for you or not.
No, it's not. It's not.
And then from this place, you can then make a decision to surrender this, to let this story go.
Okay.
Okay.
How do I do that?
Well, it's just a choice. So if you guys look at your story, are you ready to let that story go? Because you have to tell yourself the truth. Because a lot of the times we're telling ourselves the story over and over and over again that it has become a belief. It's become a state of being.
Okay.
So the brain is wired for habits, for ease, comfort, and the least pain. So it's always going to default to what it knows best. So if this is the story that you've been telling yourself over and over and over again, then you've got to make a conscious decision to let this story go.
Okay.
Say, okay, this story no longer serves me. I am now making a conscious choice to surrender it with love, just to let it go with love.
Okay. So if you surrender this, okay, you surrender it, let it go with love. What do you put, how do you create then the new thing to put a new thing into that place?
Okay, so let's just go here. Like
Mm.
for all of you, if you were to let go of your story, what do you think is left?
Calmness for me.
Yeah. So the calmness that you want is without this story. So why do you feel calm?
Because I let it go. I made peace with it. And I'm not keeping it as a thought in my head anymore. So it's like a bird flying away, basically, if I can say it like that. So then for me, it's now, okay, if I had this earlier today, what I'm learning now,
Yes.
I would have stood back and just say, okay, listen, take a step back. Look at this whole picture. This is what has happened. It's not the end of the world. What can you learn out of it? What can you look for the positivity? Look for the positivity and then focus on the positive. And with everything extra that has to be done now for the customer, write down the priorities first. What is the most crucial thing to be done? And then the less crucial. And then just start. It's like eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? Bite by bite, no?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So what thought do you
Okay.
think is driving you to already take action? Do you see how your brain already started to take action? It's already giving you a plan and it's
Yes,
saying, Sonnet,
yes.
this is your plan of action.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yes, and I'm honest with you. When this whole day, it was just like, it's like was walking in the whole time into a wall. You've got this whole time all these thoughts, and it's like you can't break out of it. I was really exhausted.
Yes.
We had at 5 o'clock. We had a meeting again with the other people, with the other partners regarding this customer, and luckily the one person that we really needed, I think he forgot about the meeting. So I just said, please, can we just reschedule this meeting for tomorrow? We've had a lot of meetings today. Let's just cut a break here, because this everything was just too much, and everybody was happy. I think it was just totally, not even for me, but for the rest of the people that was in on this meeting. It was overwhelming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So this is the power of this model, of really just allowing yourself to recognize what your story is and then making that deliberate choice to surrender it. Okay. Anybody else want to work through their model? This is your opportunity. Okay, so here's where, thank you, Sonnet, for sharing. I'm sure others can learn from this. Like, how many of you have felt like you've been hit a wall, right? You can't move forward. And this is where, every day. And this is where the overwhelm causes you to actually ruminate. Do you see that? So it offers more thoughts, which creates other emotions like anxiety, stress, whatever it is, confusion. So this is where it does feel paralyzing after a while, because you're feeling all of these emotions and you just want to shut down. Do you see that? Because a response for the brain when overwhelm comes up is to think a lot, is to overthink. Okay. So for all of our overthinkers here, this is the key. If you want to stop overthinking, allow yourself to look at what your story is. Okay, and tell yourself the truth about it. So overwhelm is really, it's just an emotion. And an emotion is a vibration that you feel in your body. And this vibration that you feel in your body, I'm going to invite you to see it as a tool, as a communication device. So if you were to look at your overwhelming thoughts and feel the overwhelm, where does it show up in your body? For me, it's usually in the chest. Anybody else?
Chest as well.
Chest as well, yes. Stomach, yes. I hear stomach a lot. Base of neck, lump in throat. It might show up in different areas for all of us. But this is how you recognize when you are feeling overwhelmed. This is another way. Okay, you either recognize it in the action line where you start to do the overthinking or you're procrastinating. This is where you've got to allow yourself to stop, to pause, to say, oh, okay, this is me just feeling overwhelmed. And if I want to stop feeling this, then I've got to acknowledge what's happening in my mind. So the vibrations are here as indicators. So for me, whenever I feel overwhelmed, I feel it. And that's when I know I use it as a way for me to slow down. So in order for me to speed up and actually take action, I have to slow down to speed up. Tightness of breath, brick in head feeling, heart beats faster. Yeah. Yeah. So let your body tell you what's going on. And because we're not allowing ourselves to use this as a tool and we try to push this feeling away, a lot of the times, this is where some of us might actually start to feel symptoms, right? Because it's just energy that's stopped in your body somewhere. So for me, it used to be in my chest so much that I developed asthma at the age of 35. I was making a transition in my career. I was going into health coaching from being an interior designer. And this is where it was like, oh my gosh, I was trapping myself with my thoughts that I ended up developing asthma because I didn't know how to let that energy go until I found coaching. And then I realized that, oh, this is how you let it go, right? So there's stuck, it's just stuck energy. So you can allow yourself to do the work to let it be. Okay. So I have a whole other workshop to teach you exactly how to process your emotions. But for now, for overwhelm, just acknowledge that it shows up in your stomach, in your chest, in your head, a certain way. And if you allow yourself to pause and spend time with it, meaning, okay, I feel this tightness of breath, just by acknowledging it, just by saying, okay, I feel this brick in my head. Just by slowing down and identifying and describing what it feels like, it gives your brain a different task to take on than to think about your list. So it helps you slow down and create that calmness, connect with yourself. Because this is what emotions are here to do. It's here to show us the way. So if we ignore it, then it's going to scream like a screaming toddler. Okay, so think about the toddler that you know in your life that likes to scream until it gets its way. Same thing with your emotions. If you don't allow yourself to honor the emotion, to give it space and time to say, hey, I hear you, I see you, then it's just going to keep screaming at you until it gets what it wants. So you've got to slow down to say, hey, I acknowledge you. I see you. I hear you. I'm safe. I'm okay. Because the brain is wired for fight, flight, or freeze, right? So this is where anytime you are doing something new or something that your brain sees as being a danger, it's going to go into one of those options. So your power comes in when you choose how you want to respond to it. You can give into it, or you can choose to acknowledge it and allow it to just invite it in, be here, and then make a decision what you want to do with it. This is what fear management is all about. It's in how you respond to the fear. Any questions? So you can avoid, you can resist, or you can process your emotions. And processing your emotions is just slowing down, describing it, get really specific as to what it feels like. So you want to describe the temperature, the intensity, the density, the frequency, go into detail, because that's going to help you slow down. Okay. So this is now, once you've decided to surrender your story, this is where you can then create a new thought, if you choose to. Okay. So what result do you want? Who wants to share? Who wants to go next? Let's show you how to use this model the other way. Can I choose? Let's try. Emily, did you want to share? Did you want to? You don't have to if you don't want to, but yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess my result that I'm looking for would be to feel more in control of what I'm doing with my business, I guess, and finding something that's better aligned with my ethics and passion.
Okay. So I align with ethics and passion. Can I say connection with business?
Yeah.
All right. So what is your circumstance right now?
Well, I have a bootstrapped business that's 3 years old, and as overwhelming as it can be, I know that I'm successful.
Yes.
Because if I wasn't, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing every day. Clients would not be with me for 3 years, and I wouldn't be getting new work. But I work in primarily social media marketing, and on a personal ethical level, I absolutely hate social media, but I recognize its power as a business tool. But I also know that what I'm doing right now is not what I want to be doing forever. And I'm struggling with how can I align what's true in my core to what it is that I'm doing every day to earn an income.
Okay. I'm just gonna.
Sorry, it was a very long answer.
No, it's okay. We're just gonna shorten it.
Sure.
So you've got a 3-year business and you've got some thoughts about it being in social media, right?
Yeah.
Which is causing you overwhelm.
Yes.
Are you
doing things that I love the thinking and the relationships with my clients and the ideation, but executing in the day-to-day, it's such a negative space to work in.
Why is it a negative space to work in?
I mean, have you ever read comments online? Like, you're basically sitting at the bottom of a cesspool with all of the terrible people out there. Even on business accounts, there's just negativity abound online. And so that can be a struggle to navigate through that.
Okay. So you've got this thought that there's a lot of negativity
Mhm.
in my work.
Correct.
Okay. And what is that causing you to feel?
Overwhelmed because I struggle to maybe effectively do my job because I'm sitting here in my ethical quandary.
Right.
It causes me to feel misaligned. Ethics and
Yes.
social responsibility are big parts of my business and a lot of clients that I work with. And so it feels almost like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. On the one hand, I'm helping to grow these socially responsible businesses using unethical
Mhm.
tools.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's the story that you have that your business is using unethical tools
Mhm.
that's causing you to feel this way.
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of it because I know like I know what my long-term goal is. Um, but it's not in a field that I necessarily have any skill set in. So I'm like, how do I
Okay.
do
So
that?
first, I'm just going to slow you down there.
Sure.
Okay. So I hope like do all of you kind of like take a look at your own business, wherever you are at in your own business. What are your thoughts about your business right now? What kind of emotion is it giving you? What kind of result is it giving you? Okay. So right now, Emily, you have this thought that what I do is I'm using an unethical tool in my business.
Yes.
Okay. So the brain wants to make this a fact. It wants to make this a circumstance,
Mhm.
but it is a thought that you are having. It is
Mhm.
a sentence that you've just been playing over and over and over again in your mind that's created this belief. So when you repeat a thought over and over and over again, it becomes a belief. And
Mhm.
whatever you believe in, your brain will set out to find evidence for.
Right.
Okay, so your brain is actively doing a lot of evidence searching and looking for evidence that it's unethical what you're doing.
Mhm.
So that's the result that you're creating for yourself by thinking this thought.
Mhm.
Okay. So do you see how it's this one thought that's actually creating this result that you have?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So are you ready to let the story go?
Yes.
Okay. So you've got to consciously choose to say, okay, I'm going to let it go with love. There's nothing has gone wrong. You have this story had worked for so long, right? 3 years. It created a business for you.
Mhm.
And this is where you can let it go and allow yourself to acknowledge that it no longer serves you
Mhm.
and that you'd like to create a new story about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you choose to let this story go, what is left?
I mean, my successful business is still there.
Yeah.
And, I have employees and obviously 2020 has been a bit of a tire fire.
Yes.
The fact that I was scared. We lost 65% of our revenue in a week back in
Yeah.
the early start of the year. And I thought I would have to fold. And that was infuriating because I was like, if this fails, I want it to be a decision I've made, not a decision made for me.
Yeah.
So, the business is still standing. I survived a global pandemic. That is
Mm-hmm.
worthy of a round of applause, like I'm proud
Yes.
of that. So
Yes.
there are
Okay.
many things to still be grateful for.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay. So do you see how like your brain already kind of starts to celebrate letting go of the story?
And
Okay.
it's great that I didn't have to let anybody go. I was even able to give
Mm-hmm.
a raise to one of my team members to acknowledge the hard work she's done during the pandemic. So,
Yeah.
that to me is so important, is raising up that next generation of talented marketers and being able to
Okay.
support, other young women in their career goals.
How does this feel? I raise the next generation of, what was it that you said? The
Of
next
women.
generation of women marketers,
Yes.
is it? Yeah.
Mhm.
How does that feel?
That feels so much better.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have this thought, and how does this make you feel when you think this thought?
It makes me feel humbled in a positive way. The fact that I
Mhm.
can have an impact on someone's
Yeah.
career or livelihood.
So, mhm.
And it makes me feel empowered.
Yeah. So when you think this thought and you feel humbled, what are you most likely to do or not do?
Well, I'm definitely better able to show up for my team and for my
Mhm.
clients.
Yeah.
Because if I'm their leader, they look to me as an example. And when I'm struggling and I'm not doing anything, it's hard for me to tell my team to do stuff when I can't even get out of bed.
Right. Okay. What other things will you be doing?
Hopefully finding a better balance between doing nothing and doing everything, finding that
Mhm.
nice balance in my
Okay.
pendulum, not
So
swinging too
creating
far
balance.
one way or the other.
Yeah. So would you say that by taking these actions, you show up for your clients and your team, and you're creating balance in your life,
Mhm.
that the result takes you to aligning with ethics and passion and connection with your business?
Yeah, definitely a better path towards that.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the power of thought.
Mhm.
Just by shifting, but first acknowledging that the story that you had before isn't a bad story. It's just, it no longer serves you,
Mhm.
and that you're willing to let it go. You have to be willing to let it go, right? Because if you're not willing to let it go, this is where we stay in the victim state. But just by acknowledging that this previous story, this past being,
Mhm.
is creating this result for yourself, your brain's already going to start to get to work to make shifts,
Yeah.
to think differently.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So this is the thought that you want to move forward with.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing, because I think this is where a lot of us, this has shown a lot of us that we don't have to change our circumstance in order to feel better. We don't have to change our circumstance in order to create a new result. So I used to change boyfriends every 3 months. I used to change jobs every 3 years, right? Just because I thought I would feel better in the end. But it didn't work because I kept my brain, my brain came with me, right? So you end up having the same thoughts. You don't have to change your circumstance in order to create a life that you want to live right now. It's just about giving yourself that space and time to truly look at your stories, to be able to choose consciously what you want to keep and what you want to let go of. Right. So I have a client who she was so ready to leave her husband. She said last week, she's like, I was so ready. And then you showed me how to work through it. And she's like, I'm at this place where I'm all in, because she has all in or all out attitude as well. But she's like, I've chosen to be all in for my husband, and to shift my thinking in order to create the result I want, in order to create the experience that I want. Right. I have another client who used to be, or not used to be, she wanted to be a yoga instructor. She's a designer full time, and she wanted to make the transition, because she thought that, oh, owning my own business, like she thought that changing her circumstance would create a better result for her. And now she loves being a designer. She loves working for where she works now, like whereas before she didn't, right? I have another client who also wanted to make a shift, but she wanted to make a shift from that place of love. Like, but at first she wanted to leave her work because she was so frustrated. And then she made peace with it. And she was able to then choose to create a new business. She has a writing coaching business. And so she was able to make that shift for herself from that place of love, from alignment, from with her soul before she actually made the circumstantial change. Okay. So this is where you can feel at peace wherever you are, then make a new decision to change the circumstance if you want to. But you don't have to change your circumstance. You can be that person now. So if you think about, like, anybody else want to take a crack at this or have any questions? Well, okay, yeah, so you can have, I will share the recording. If you guys are good with the recording. Yes, Sonnet, do you have a question?
Okay, so just on what you just said now. So you just said she felt frustrated in a job, and then she came to a point where she made peace with it.
Yes.
And she could move to something else. So yes, this helps a lot, because I've been going through this also this whole week, where you frustrate. I'm frustrated at the point where my brain is not working. I'm doing the same thing every day. Every day you do A, B, C, D, and I'm very blessed in the fact that the customers that I deal with is very good, besides this one that bombed out, but he's also good. But the fact that I've also come to the point where I'm sitting with something that I'm not, I've got so much, I feel that my brain is that what's in here is not really being used. I don't know how to. It's in a flat way that I'm saying this, but I feel that the inspiration, the passion, the perseverance that I have, it's not getting to a full potential. So if I make peace with where I am, then I can move out of my thinking into a new thinking and redirecting my path where I want to go.
Yes,
Thank
exactly.
you.
Because we are, each one of you, you're exactly where you're meant to be. And anytime that we are telling ourselves, I should be there, that's when we take ourselves out of the present moment.
Oh, okay.
So we are saying that there's somewhere else I need to be instead of here. So right there, that thought takes us out of alignment. Do you see that?
Okay. Now I understand it, because I could never understand it.
So this is where
Go on.
acceptance of who you are, where you're at right now, just through coaching, is going to help you be present, therefore then be choosing to receive what you already have.
Okay.
Okay.
This helps a lot.
Because you cannot have more of what you want without first acknowledging that you do have it. You cannot offer more if you do not first acknowledge that you already have it.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Sure.
So this is where the not enoughness comes from, right? When we're telling ourselves it's not enough, have you actually slowed down enough to question that and ask yourself, do you even feel like you have it? Because if you believe you don't have enough, so I'm going to use clients because this is a or actually it comes and goes, right? Like actually most of my clients have a lot of clients, but it's more just they don't have enough time. So let's just use time since we're talking about overwhelm. So I don't have enough time. And it's like, if you don't think that you have time right now, you're always going to think that you don't have enough time, right? Because you're from this place of lack. So if you're coming from this place of lack, then you're always trying to fill this bucket. So this is why we're, you know, like we get into that mode of go, 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 go. But if we slow down enough to say, okay, here is what I have the time, I just haven't chosen to create the time, right? Tell myself the truth. I haven't chosen to think differently about it. Then I'm not going to be able to create more of it, right? So if you want more connection, that's one thing that I hear from all my clients is I want more connection. I want more connection. Well, how you create more connection is by shifting your thinking. You've got to first acknowledge that you have the connections, right? So for Emily's example, she was able to show her brain, give her brain proof that she has all these people in her life, all this support, all these amazing people that she gets to support. She's providing her brain evidence of the connection, and therefore she has the connection. Okay. This is the way I work. I go deep. So if you want deep, deep work where you can shift, like this is where every single session I am constantly shifting, helping my clients shift their identities. This is awesome work. So what I provided you today is what I call the science. I gave you a formula. So there is the science in our life. And then there is the drama, right? So I gave you a formula, and this is why to be able to succeed with ease, it's 20% strategy and 80% mindset. So you can go out and learn as many tools, learn as many courses as possible. The reason why you probably haven't created the results you wanted is because of the mindset, because there's a lot of drama in the way. So you can learn the strategy all day long, but if you haven't worked through your drama, you're not going to be able to like work through the formula, right? Because the thing is, you're given a formula, and now I'm going to say, go do it, go follow it. Tomorrow, your brain's going to say, oh no, what about this? And what about that? Let me try on this, right? But if you kept at it, just like another example is if you've read a book in your life that worked really well for you, if you actually studied that book and mastered everything that book told you to do, you would create the result that you want through that book. So what you need to do is actually manage your mind in order for you to follow through with your process, whatever your process is. So this is what I get to do with my clients. I give them a formula to succeed, and I help them work through the drama in order for them to actually follow the formula, right? So you can do this on your own for sure, right? I gave you the formula. Now you can do this on your own. But if you want a quicker transformation and you want to expand exponentially, this is where I'm going to offer to you to work with me. So I am on a mission. I am on, like, I help my clients double their business, double their life with ease. And my mission for the next year is to double the amount of people that I work with. So I have put a challenge together for myself, and that is to offer 60 sessions called the Your Best Year sessions in 60 days to people who actually are wanting this kind of transformation. Okay, so they're willing to do the work. They're willing to look at creating they want their best year yet. So I have an application process and I'm offering this opportunity to you. So just think about, imagine what your life would be like if you were to stop the excuses, the drama, to stop beating yourself up, to stop the procrastination, the confusion, be able to double your business naturally with ease and exponentially grow your business, and to feel like make decisions from the place of alignment and show up as your authentic self, show up as who you're truly meant to be, and loving and trusting yourself without the outside validation, and truly letting go of the need to please, the need to be perfect, and truly step into embodying being this person who is worthy and shows up confidently as yourself. So this is what I have to offer to you. If you want to take my offer, this is where you can sign up. You can go through the application. I've just put it in the chat box. So I am taking applications right now. So you can fill it out and I will get back to you in 24 hours or 48 hours to let you know if you're a good fit. So what we do in this session is we look at what your ideal best year looks like. And we look through at exactly what is blocking you. What's a story that's blocking you right now? And then the exact steps you need to take. So I share a formula, another formula other than what I shared with you today to help you succeed with ease. So I take you through the formula and I show you exactly how to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. So this session is there available to you. Any questions about? Yes.
Vanessa,
Hi,
so,
Chloe.
yeah, I heard that you said it's 60 days for these programs. That means that we have to meet.
No. So it's the session is, sorry, I guess I should clarify a little bit more. So it is a 1 hour session and I'm offering like 60 of these sessions in 60 days to 60 different people. So here's another thing that I like this, if this was a good, like powerful session for you and you feel like you know somebody who could benefit from this session, please share this with them as well. So it is a 1 hour session where I take you through.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay. Any other questions about either what we shared today or about the session? Anything else? Okay, so let's go around and just share what was one biggest takeaway for you.
Just that I don't have to change everything to have a difference, because I've been very much considering throwing in the towel on my business and trying something new. And again, if I don't change those patterns, it'll just be same shit, different pile, part of my French. So I need to find a way to get happy where I'm at and make it work.
Mhm. Yes, thank you
I
for
really
sharing.
like the formula because, once you have the formula, then you just plug it in and then you have
Mhm.
something different.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Peter, did you want to share?
I will let the story go, and then I will be calm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just wished I had this today or since yesterday, this info. I'm honest with you. For me personally, I have been on a journey since 2018. And
Yes.
this is so much power. This has given me so much power. This is why I want your recording, because this is something that I will be watching every day so that I can make sure I'm implementing it. Because what I'm also trying in my own with myself is to shorten my temper. I don't have a bad temper, but I get upset quickly. And if I can totally utilize this or bring it in as a normal in my life,
Yes.
ooh, life will be a breeze. It
Yes.
will. Yeah. So this is for me. This is a blessing. All I can say to you, this is a blessing. I just wish I had it yesterday, but
Yes.
stuff happens on the right time. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? So, Aylin, you said, really interesting, explains why I feel exhausted because I'm trying to push myself to do actions without dealing with thoughts. Yes, you're welcome. All right. So, this is where you guys go at this. If you need help with this, you know where to find me. I'm going to send you an email with a little recap. I'm going to share the Best Year Yet session again. And if you feel empowered to share this, please do so. This work needs to be shared, right? I have clients who keeps telling me, I wish I found you years ago, but this is where there's always timing for everything, right? Yeah. So thank you all for your full presence. Thank you all for offering your stories. I think, again, we all learned. I learned. I always walk away from these sessions, every single session. And yeah, I really appreciate you. So thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Aylin. Bye.